Alright, my name is Jared, and I used to drive for ride-sharing services. And this is exactly why I don't drive anymore. First of all, the traffic is hell. You know that? I know that. Okay, I got into the gig because I didn't know what else to do at the time. I discovered I had wasted 5 years of my life in college just for the market to not let me into its little club. I don't know how many places I applied to at the time. In fact, I'm still applying. And nada, bupkis, the big zilcherino. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and only the dogs with 8 to 10 years of experience can get their little paws in the door. Anyways, I was a ride-sharing driver with a college degree. And also, I was terrible at it. I mean, on the surface, it's not complicated. You drive around, which I know how to do. You stop where the app tells you to stop, and then you make sure that the person you are picking up has the same face as a little icon on your cell phone and responds to the name that they're supposed to. I always hated when people ordered rides for other people. Very disorienting. Stop doing that. If the person has their own cell phone, they can have their own app. Okay? Anyways, in 3 months, I probably made just over $1,000 bucks. So here's another problem. And this might tell you a little bit more about me than I'm comfortable with you knowing, but I hate waking up early. I mean, I just won't do it, right? Yes, this may have cost me some of those job opportunities or the friendships and even maybe some relationships, but that's me and I'm just being real, okay? Okay. I always miss that morning commute rush. I mean, the only way I can make it is if I stayed up all night, and the one time I sat around waiting for people to call me to take them to work, I only made $10 and some guy who stayed up all night just like me, drunk. It was actually a pretty good conversation, seemed like a nice guy. Anyways, I don't do mornings. That's it, the end, not gonna happen. So it's like 5 p.m. now and I'm just getting started. I've already had dinner and I kind of like this time of day anyways because people usually need rides from home back from my part of the bay to the city. Don't make me tell you what city. Just listen to what I'm saying. The city. Got it? Okay, great. People needing rides from my part of the bay over to the city was pretty lucrative. You can make $75 in 45 minutes. I don't know if it's still that way, but let me tell you, I got lucky a couple of times. Just catching the right executive going back home on the right commute. It was lovely. Only one time did I get ripped off by that commute. I picked up these two buddies from fancy Palo Alto. Guy literally lived in a mansion. He even bothered to tell his buddy how much it was worth on the trip over. $13 million. Kid was loaded. His father owned his own company. All the way to the city, he griped about some presentation that his father was making him prepare and how futile it seemed because he didn't actually know that much about business. That's America for you, isn't it? Well, these guys were money smart enough. They had me pick them up separately and both ordered party rides, which means they both could get a discount since the other was inconvenienced by the other having to be picked up. Only $55 and we hit traffic. 2.5 hours of rip-off. And the best part, neither of those jerks tipped me. I could have been flipping burgers the entire time and would have made the same amount of money. Okay, maybe not, but that's what it felt like. So I'm tired and I'm irritated now, even more so than usual. But I still need the money, especially after being gypped out of that lousy 2.5 hour ride. I get another fare. It's at a movie theater. Simple enough. Someone just needs a ride home. It's probably seen something entertaining, likely be in a good mood, much more likely to tip. My kind of fare. I pull up to the theater and I see this guy standing alone in a polo at the front of the theater. He has his hands in both of his pockets, but he seems well dressed and wearing glasses. Nothing about this guy tipped me off that he might be any kind of trouble. He opens the back passenger door and I call out his name. He doesn't answer to it, but He just nods his head and ducks in. It was a lady that had ordered the ride, but she sent me a text saying that she was his daughter. She had ordered it for her father, whatever, fine. Daughters can order rides for their fathers. I'll allow it. I switched over the radio station from R&B to classical. I try to gauge what each of my passengers want to listen to or if they want interaction or not. Despite not getting that many rides, my approval rating was pretty high. I think that was due to either being friendly when people wanted or quiet when they didn't. I glanced every once in a while back through the rearview mirror. Sometimes that's the dead giveaway. You look back, and if your eyes meet immediately, then you know they want to talk. They weren't sure if they should, but they want to. If you look and they're looking at their phones or out the window, probably not so much. If they start a phone conversation, well, that should go without saying. When I looked back, the guy just had his hands on his lap and was looking down at his feet. Once again, nothing against the guy. I mean, we all daydream from time to time, but this was kind of a first. I never met anyone before that was just completely silent. It was almost like he had been one of those boarding school kids who was taught to always be mannered and fold his hands on his lap and look down unless spoken to. Until about 10 minutes later, he finally speaks. Take a right here. The only problem is that's not what GPS was telling me to do, but that's not too uncommon. Most of the time, people think that they know better than the GPS, the quicker way to get to their destination. I try to humor them. It's part of why I was able to maintain a 4-star rating most of the time. And you know what? If we do end up getting there faster, even if we don't, I'm much more likely to get a tip. So fine, I'm making a right-hand turn, even if Google is not telling me to do so. Plus, I've lived in this area most of my life, so I have a general idea of most of the place I'm going to. I have my bearings, I know the surroundings. Only this street does kind of start leading up a hill I'm not really that familiar with. Takes me off guard a little bit, but no big deal. I mean, I don't expect to be in this guy's circle. I mean, he's probably far richer than I am, so it's to be expected. Fine. The sun is setting, and this little mini mountain we're driving up is blocking some light. Every minute that goes by, it feels like it gets twice as dark. The guy's just still and quiet, staring down at his feet. It was like he was pre-programmed to lead me this way and is now dormant again. The 4-lane street turns into 2, and then those 2 lanes turn into 1. Another mile and the pavement turns into a dirt road. GPS seems to be keeping track of where we're going, seems like we're going the right way, but every so often it stops and adjusts and buffers, and I keep having these little mini heart attacks where I think it's just shutting off on me, and all of a sudden I'm lost in the middle of the ocean. It's almost completely dark now, so I turn on the headlights. And then he says, pull up ahead. There's nothing in front of us but trees. I mean, I don't even know if I could keep driving in a straight line for much longer. See, the only thing I have on me worth mentioning is this little non-locking pocket knife in my backpack. The only problem is my backpack is in the trunk, far away from me. So I park and I engage the handbrake, but I let my fingers stay on my keys. I mean, just in case I need to rip it out of the ignition and turn it into this kind of brass knuckly type weapon. I mean, I'll have something on me. It's hard to park up ahead, so I'll just get out here. I mean, it's the most nonchalant delivery in the world for this sentence, alright? And I'm telling you, we're almost just about in the forest. He even thanks me. Without another word, gets out of the car and begins walking up the hill into the trees and vanishes. I mean, I don't know if this guy's part deer or something, gonna morph and just kind of rip off his clothes and return to his family. I just stay there in my seat way longer than I should have. For whatever reason, I keep imagining him coming back to the car, realizing he's made some kind of mistake, or maybe I'll get this frantic phone call from his daughter asking, "Where the hell did you leave my father?" After a while, I put the car in reverse and just start heading back. As soon as I can turn around, I bolt back down the mountain to civilization until that one road becomes 2 and those 2 become 4. I'm still a little spooked, so I clock out for the night and go look for a donut somewhere. And as you can tell, I'm still around to tell the tale. A couple of weeks later, that was it. Never drove again. Worked at a few coffee shops, a little here and there. Anything else. Word out to all my fellow drivers out there. Stay safe. Watch out for the quiet ones, I guess. Never know where they might try and take them.